Hi, guys, this is Chiquita Robertson. And I wanted to jump on to share words specifically with believers. If you're not a believer, you can click off of this video unless you're interested in what I'm about to share. This video is for believers and especially for those that are prayer warriors, those that consider themselves intercessors. This is extremely important. The other day, I watched a video that actually a well-known prophetess, however you want to say it, gave what she shared. And she shared about praying for President Trump. And so it's a very brief video. I listened to it. I don't listen to a lot of videos that a lot of men and women of God, like maybe sharing prophetic words or different things like that. But that video popped up. And so I listened to it and it reminded me of something. It reminded me of something that I wanted to share. I may have shared it in a previous video, but it also reminded me that I was praying very heavily for President Trump over the past few weeks. And he was coming up during my time of prayer. My husband and I actually went on a fast at the beginning of the year, a 21-day fast. And during that time, there's specific things we're believing God for, but also during that time, we prayed for specific things and specific people. And President Trump kept coming up, and I was praying for him. And some of you may or may not like him. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat, Republican. If you're a believer, if you're an intercessor, if you're a prayer warrior, you should be praying for who God is leading you to pray for, regardless of your political beliefs. Your stance, your identity as a believer trumps any other thing that you have, all right? Whether political affiliation, whether you like someone or not, if God tells you to pray for someone, if God tells you to share a word with a person, that's what you do, all right? As believers, we are in this world, but we should not be of this world, all right? I was praying for President Trump, interceding for him. Not just praying for him, but also praying for those that are connected to him, those that are around him, praying for godly sound wisdom, godly spiritual counsel, that God will place the right people around him, the right spiritual advisors around him, that God would give him wisdom, that God would lead and guide him. I'm praying these specific things because our leader, the leader of the United States, that's important. If you are condemning, if you are praying against the leader of the United States, that is not wise. All right. That is not wise. That is not biblical wisdom either. You should be praying for your leader. I prayed for President Trump, just like I prayed for President Biden, prayed for the vice presidents and so forth. So it doesn't matter. You still need to make sure that whoever's leading you, that you're praying and lifting them up before God. And even if they are in error, pray that God will course correct them. Pray that that they would have hearts of humility, that they will begin to listen and heed what God is sharing with them to do, that they would begin to take on godly wisdom, that they would ask God, that they would submit themselves to God. That's what you pray for. So I want to encourage you all to make sure that you are praying for your leaders, not just President Trump. Make sure you're praying for him, but also make sure that you're praying for even your other leaders, your bosses, the president of the company that you work for, praying for your customers, you should be praying and interceding for those that are definitely in leadership over you, that have authority over you, your leaders in the natural, but also your spiritual leaders. Make sure that you're praying for your pastors, your campus pastors. Make sure you're praying for those spiritual leaders that God has placed in your life. This is an important warning. This is an important reminder that we should be praying and lifting our leaders up before God. Because when our leaders are in error, that's not good for us. Pray for President Trump. Pray for your leaders, your natural leaders, and make sure that you're praying for your spiritual leaders. This is a warning. We as a country are at a pivotal moment. A lot of what's happening is biblical. Make sure that you're praying. And you may say that I'm going to share this one quick thing also. And you may say, Chiquita, it's easier said than done. I have prayed for leaders that I've worked for, that I knew had intended evil towards me, that I knew were not for my good, that treated me wrong, but I had to pray for them. I had to honor them as my leaders that God had put over me. So if I can do that for someone who I know this person, who I know does not have my best interest at heart? What more can we do for someone else that have even greater influence and power over what governs this nation? Now, keep in mind, God is in total control at all times, but God will allow some things to happen to get our attention, for us to submit ourselves and humble ourselves before Him, to begin to pray and seek Him. He'll allow some things to happen, to take place, to get our attention. And you may say, God doesn't do that. Read your Bible. Yes, He does. All right? Yes, He does. And I want to give you one more reminder. You may say, well, President Trump this or President Trump that. How many of you have loved people, have made excuses for people that you know that have done you wrong, that continue to do you wrong, that have mistreated you, but you continue to love them? You continue to pray for them. Even people that have misused you, family members, friends, loved ones, that friend that you just won't let go, that family member that has taken and stolen from you, that have talked about you, that have betrayed you. Just like you show that love and that consistency to want to see them do better and do right, I want to challenge you to exercise that love even right now in praying for your leadership. I know it doesn't feel good. I know it doesn't sound good. But ask yourself, is it the right thing to do? All right, guys, I hope this video blesses someone, encourages you, challenges you to do what God is leading and calling you to do, even if it doesn't feel good. Until next time, you all be blessed.